Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Sonia.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We are definitely going to be running a little bit late, so give us a few more minutes here to get started and let us know if you need anything through the chat and Zoom.
I left early, again. Construction done on Aurora, then 31, they're clearing trees, everything stopped, and the police stopped a motorcyclist.
They
Just
pulled away
south of
from
you.
the gate, but they didn't take off.
That was all week. I already lived through that too.
Then, good afternoon. Chair of the. Good afternoon. Wait, turn it off. Wasn't me, honest to God. Good afternoon. My name is Chris Caius. I'm Chairman of the Administration Committee for Kane County. I'm calling this meeting to order on Friday, August 15th, 2025 at 1:10 PM. A roll call, please.
Arroyo,
Over here.
Berman, Garcia, Gums.
Garcia here.
Guns remote.
Thank you. Young.
Here.
Juby,
here.
Pius,
Vice President.
and Roth.
Roth here. So am I needing for quorum or not?
No,
Okay, thank you. No, I say you.
that's a bonus. There we go. Good. Called order, roll call. And then can I have your consent to allow Mr. Berman if he comes? Mr. Berman, Gums, and Garcia to attend
No objections.
remotely. No objection? Good. Then welcome to the meeting.
Thank you.
That's done. May I have a motion and a second or a request for unanimous consent for the approval of the minutes for July 8th, 2025?
I'll move.
Go ahead.
Anybody?
Royal County House consent for approval of the minutes.
Somebody has to speak into the microphone.
Oh, sorry. Unanimous consent for approval of the minutes.
Arroyo asked for unanimous consent for the minutes, approval of the minutes from July 8th, 2025. Is there any objections or is there any corrections? Hearing none,
No.
minutes are approved. Is there any public comment? Take a big bite, Steve, you sure? Okay, you can talk about bicycles. Yeah, okay. Next time. None. The financial reports are on file. Then I would request or ask for consent to change the order of the meeting to actually do some of our business items 8 and 11 prior to any other items, just so we can get our business out of the way in case there's some lengthy discussions on the budget or anything. And so we don't run out of a quorum too.
Would you like a motion for that?
I would just ask for unanimous consent for that. Is there
Okay.
any objection to doing
No
that?
objections.
Then we'll just launch right into building management. That would be Mr. Kevin Harris. May I have a motion and a second to present, potentially approve a resolution authorizing purchase of first aid, emergency medical and athletic trainer supplies and equipment with AED Service America PF Wellness Consultants for the Building Management Department, contract number 708-23. That is TMP 25-968 on page 47 for $50,000. Moved by
Guns will move.
Dum, second by
Royal second.
Arroyo. And then Mr. Harris.
Yeah, so this is to maintain our AEDs across the county. We have over 200 AEDs in the county, plus mobile units as well. And this will allow us to maintain them with batteries, Narcan, defibrillation pads, et cetera, so they're operational. Anything that have expired, we'll be able to replace as well. It's a not to exceed contract that allows us to move forward this in a pretty expeditious manner. It's also through a group purchasing organization called Buyboard. This gives us a 13% discount on all the parts and that they purchase for us.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Harris? Mr. Young?
Yep, David Young. I'm not a fan of any of these co-ops. And did you look to see if you would get an even better deal from other sources? 13%, I go back to my can of paint thing. Okay, fine, you get 30% from the co-op, but you get 50% by going to the a different spot. So you could save even more money.
We did not go out for bid for this. This is a safety issue across the county. And so we believe that speed is important to make sure AEDs are working properly. And so we have this through Omnia Partners, and so we pursued that route to allow us to make sure that all the AEDs are operational and all the safety items are in place.
Okay. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Arroyo,
Oh, yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Young,
No.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Caius.
Caius, yes.
Passes with one no.
Motion passes. Item B, may have, resolution, may I have someone present the resolution for approval, authorizing updated capital projects from the capital fund, moved by
Juby.
Juby, second by
Sonia.
Garcia. All right, that is, excuse me, the resolution is TMP 25-977. And it is on
That's why 114.
page 114. Okay,
So this is not a change to our overall capital budget. We are reprioritizing and we found some efficiencies. We want to make sure you're aware of the changes to the different capital items. I believe we do this on a fairly regular basis, a few times a year. And so the items on page 114 highlight the changes or additions. You'll see there's really two that drive that. We have some failed plumbing in our jail that has caused our team, it's actually flooding, so they've had to go in and begin to try to repair that. And the second one, you'll notice there is a courtroom and chamber HVAC that has also failed. We need to replace it. We don't have the funds to replace it right now. That's gonna be a larger project, so this will allow us to repair it to get through the season and make different plans as we go forward.
and that's in our list of capital improvements?
Yes, that's in the list of capital. And again, it's not an increase in our capital budget. We have other efficiencies we've identified. So the budget number remains the same.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, this is Roger.
yes, Mr. Fonstock.
I would point out that there is a resolution for furniture for the development department that is also in the list of new capital, just to point that out. So it's tied, the one item for development furniture is tied to a resolution today.
And so that was item C under 8
I believe, yes.
is tied to
Yes.
the building
Yes.
improvements in Building A development furniture,
Yes.
$95,672.
Yes, sir.
Any questions about this? This is just to update the capital projects for the capital fund for this fiscal year. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Arroyo,
Oh, yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Young,
Yes.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Caius.
Caius, yes. Motion passes. Then may I have a motion and a second to present, potentially approve a resolution authorizing the building management department to purchase furniture, installation, and related services for the development department with the HON Company LLC, contract number R 240117. That's TMP 25-982 on page 116 for 144,985. And that's moved by
Or I move.
Arroyo, second by
Sonia.
Garcia. Questions? Comments? Any comments from Mr. Harris? Oh, Mr. Young, sorry.
Yep, another co-op program, and I'm going to vote against this. I'm not for these co-op programs. They don't save you money. It's just an easy way to get rid of the contract, the rules that make you go ahead and bid something to multiple sources once you go above $30,000. So I'm going to vote no, and I hope other people vote no too.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Harris? Yes, Ms. Juby.
So David, I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to vote no with you on this one. Normally I would be right alongside you because I think this is a substantial amount of money that we should be bidding out, but it is connected to what I consider a time-sensitive project with the development. So I'm reluctantly going to be voting yes on this, but I'm going to be asking anytime we have projects this large, can we please spot check. I do not like these co-ops and these purchasing agreements at all. But I will do it this one time because this is a time sensitive project, but that's the only reason why I'm voting yes on this.
Okay. That's a point. No questions. Yes, Mr. Roth.
Regarding the cost in resolution C in the capital project, it mentioned that we thought that was this thing. That was for 96,672. This is for 144,985. I don't have a problem. I just want to go on record that they're not the same.
Mr.
Okay.
Chairman, this is
Excuse me,
Roger.
Mr. Fonstock, you have?
Yeah, if you would, Blair, advance the slides to the presentation after this, there's a slide that explains the cost breakdown. The
Okay.
capital budget's paying the $95,000 and there's a fund in the development department. I believe it's related to housing and urban development. They're going to pay the balance of the
Okay.
agreement. So
All right, and
it's
that's
only
fine.
partially funded from capital, and the
okay.
balance is coming from, I believe, a housing urban development fund.
Okay, thank you, Roger.
And that's the capital portion is this 95,672.
Yes, sir.
And you'll see that on page 122 in the slides or in the admin packet.
Okay. Then, roll call, please.
Arroyo,
Yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Young,
No.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Caius.
Yes. Motion passes. Then may I have a motion and a second to present and potentially approve a resolution authorizing purchase of maintenance, repair, and operations, MRO supplies, equipment, and related products and services from Granger for the Building Management Department, contract number R240808. That is TMP 25-975 on page 321. And that is for $200,000 per year. Moved by
Arroyo move.
Arroyo, second by
Juby.
Juby. Questions? Or go ahead, Mr.
Sure. So
Mr. Harris,
this,
start out here.
this is a contract we have at Granger. We've had this for a few years now. We are requesting a $200,000 not to exceed. The contract has been 400,000, so we're going down 50% from what we've had before. And these contracts offer us discounts ranging between 5% to 32%, depending on the category. These categories include things like HVAC and refrigeration, sealants, safety, lighting, et cetera, electrical components. When this is the cheapest option, we use it. When it's not the cheapest option, we find other places to go. Recently, we purchased some equipment and this was not the cheapest option. We found something better through our finance and procurement organization. And so we leverage that. So this is a great opportunity for us. I do generally like it. And I like the fact that we're not bound to it. We can use it when it works and use it or not use it when it doesn't work.
And I gather from what you're saying is that you do also compare prices?
Yes. So when we purchase
frequently,
items,
occasionally?
when we purchase items, we compare prices to try to make sure we're getting the best offer.
You're comparing?
And so this allows us to move quickly when they do have a good opportunity.
Okay. Any questions, Mr. Young?
I know Granger, it's the same as McMaster Car, those kind of guys. I actually sell stuff to McMaster Car. You know what? You know what you're paying when you buy from McMaster Car and Granger? You're paying about 1.25 times list price. And the reason for that is that they have it on the shelf. And so they're going to be higher price. They've got great websites. You can buy it online and you get it the same day sometimes. Great service. Again, here we are again, third time in a row. Doing it again. And everyone's going to vote for it but me, because I guess I don't care, but I do.
Okay.
And this is money that can be saved if you go and do some research, just a little bit. Go buy that little HVAC coil or, I don't know, contactor from different supplier, and you'll save money. And if you do that, who knows what kind of money we'll save in this administrative budget. It'll be a lot, but I'll be voting no against this one too.
Mr. Harris, would you like to or no, go ahead, Juby. Or,
I just wanted to ask a follow-up question. So you're right, we do pay for the convenience of having it. If it's not a time-sensitive item, do you try to find it from someone else first?
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, we kind of all know that Granger's a little bit higher, but you pay for the fact that you can get it when you want it or when you need it, which I appreciate a little premium on that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have to have it. But so you're saying you do if it's not something we need tomorrow or yesterday, or you'll
That's
check another alternate source?
Yeah, so if it's an emergency repair and they have it and they can get it to us in an hour because we have a space that's flooding, we absolutely will pursue that option. Otherwise, we do look at other costs. My two directors here, Tony and Matt, are fully engaged in that process as well. So it goes through a couple different channels to make sure we get the right costs, including going through our internal administrative organization.
So this allows us to make those emergency purchases when we have to.
It does, and sometimes Granger is the cheapest option, and so
Right.
we go with them. So it's not we don't have to use them. We use them when it's the best price.
Okay. All right, thank you.
okay, any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Arroyo, Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Young,
No.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Caius.
Caius, yes.
Sisseton, no?
Motion passes. All right, then, I'm gonna skip over you. Did you have anything in, we can later? No?
No.
Okay. And then also for, GIS. Then on to item 11, Mill Creek. I may have a motion second to present and potentially approve a resolution authorizing a contract extension for the Mill Creek SSA Holiday Lights and Decor Services with It's a Wonderful Light, bid number 22-029. That's TMP 25-981 on page 618 for $10,860. This is the second a one-year extension of this contract. It's an annual contract. And do you have more to add, Mr. Harris or Mr. Fonstadt?
Nothing from that. Nothing
No.
from
Gums will
that. No.
move it.
Pretty self-explanatory. This is Mill Creek. Of course, they pay for their own stuff. We just route it through the county.
Juby moves.
Council second.
Okay.
Question?
Juby and Gums? Yes, thank you.
Roth here.
Roth, yeah.
Are we including some of our admin costs on this? 'Cause there's
So
a cost, I mean, they have no government because they're getting by cheap by having us do all the work. I know they're paying for it.
Mr. Chairman, this is Roger.
Roger, go ahead.
Yeah, so in the SSA budget, there's administrative overhead for the work that we do to administer and procure the things for the SSA. And you'd find that in the SSA budget. It's a line item. So we handle the procurement and work with purchasing. The SSA does follow the same procurement ordinances and policies from the county. The reason this one is in front of you is primarily because it was bid as a multi-year contract. So in order to go across multiple years, the board authorizing it was required. And this is the second one-year extension, and there's one more one-year extension, but this is entirely paid by SSA funds.
That I understand. I have a follow-up. How often do we review our admin costs? Because our costs are going up.
We
And-
just did that, and in fact, we're actually reallocating and revising our allocations to have them pay additional percentages of the people in our admin group that provide those services. So in 2026, there actually is going to be a shift in those costs to where
Okay.
the SSA is paying more for our administrative services than they had the prior year.
And I don't disagree with that at all. Thank you, Roger.
That was my specific request of the department to make sure that every
Thank you,
time
Mr. Caius.
that we have those administrative costs.
Mr. Chair, could I ask a
Yes, sir.
quick question?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Gums,
To actually,
or Ms. Juby, excuse me. That's the other one.
to Brooke, can I ask a quick, is she here? She's not here. Okay. So maybe you guys could answer.
Sure.
On page 621, where it says, the balsam fir live wreath for $139.96, is that the total amount for 4 of them? Because I want to get where they're getting their stuff, if
Yeah.
that's
Or is
how.
that, or is that a unit cost?
Well, that's what I'm asking. Is that a unit cost or is that
Extended.
an
Can we-
extended
can we
cost?
Take that up offline,
Well, it makes,
because if it's your personal purchase, I think we.
no,
probably-
I'm not talking about my personal purchase. If it's a single price, then I'm not going to approve this because that's
Oh.
ridiculous. But if it's for 4, that's a great price and I'd be happy to approve it.
Okay. So a $10,000 and if you think something's too much for 500?
Well,
Just
I'm
clarifying.
thinking based on the way the lights were, that 20 at 500 is that's probably an extended price, but I don't want to make an assumption that that's the extended price. Because if it's the extended price, it's great, but if it's the price for a single one, then that's not, that's too much money.
This is, okay. We're purchasing this for Mill Creek, of course.
I
And they've
understand that.
approved this.
So you
That's-
just want me to
They've
approve it
instructed us to do
regardless?
this.
Okay.
Or do you have a comment on that, Mr. Fonstock?
I do not. I'm trying to see the actual.
See, everybody's got their eyes wide open.
I'll go to the website. IW.
I mean, I think it's the extended price, but I don't want to like make a mistake.
IAW.
I would agree with you, Ms. Juby. I think it's
I
extended.
I
yeah.
think so.
I think it is. I think the services are the part that's the most expensive because they reclaim it and reuse it.
Right, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah, these are the services side. It says miscellaneous item service.
But it's live. It's a live wreath, so they won't be using
Yeah.
that again. So
Well,
if that's
hopefully
for the
not.
extended price, that's
Okay.
fine. I'm fine to
Yeah.
vote on it.
They could reuse them at next Halloween.
Right. You could light the bonfires next fall.
I know that they've actually lessened the cost because they elected to light existing trees that are at the entrances instead of putting up artificial trees or temporary trees. And that saved them quite a bit. So the contract's already, I know it's gone down since we started. But I'm not as familiar with it.
Brings out the question I would have, does the board for Mill Creek vet this type of thing prior to us seeing it?
Usually they review the scope of work and they insist on having the the lights done. So usually they want them up before the Thanksgiving holiday. And that's usually their main point of contention is, are they all going to be done and before Thanksgiving?
But
That's
they
their
do
main
review.
interest.
Okay.
Yeah, they do.
All right. Are there any other questions or comments? A roll call, please.
Arroyo,
Oh, yes.
Garcia. Ms. Garcia. Gums,
Gums, yes.
Young,
Yes.
Juby,
Juby,
Aye.
I,
Yes.
Garcia's here. I'm sorry, I couldn't unmute.
Is that a yes?
Yes, please.
thank you.
Thank you. All right, motion passes. May I have a motion and a second to present, potentially approve a resolution authorizing additional funds from the Mill Creek SSA budget for the Mill Creek SSA Landscape Maintenance Services Program, tree-related services with Langton Group, bid number 24-025-TK. This is TMP 25-980 on page 622. And that was to increase from 40 to 200,000. Moved by
Juby,
Juby, second by
Arroyo.
Arroyo,
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Fonstock.
Yeah, this is Roger again. So this is the original contract, I'm sorry, was 160,000. And they're Brooke is having them increase it by $40,000 to do additional tree and landscape work. This was requested through the SSA advisory body. They want us to do some additional landscape maintenance. So we're trying to get that authorization. This was bid and awarded to Langton Group. So this is also entirely SSA funds. It's just additional landscape work and trees they want.
As requested by them.
Yes.
Any other questions?
I just have a quick question for
Yes,
Mr.
Mr. Arroyo.
Fonstock. Yeah, how much of landscape do we in-house? How much do we contract out?
All of the landscape for the most part is contracted out. For Mill Creek, it's entirely contracted out. And for the county, Most of it is contracted out. We do some brush cutting and some minor landscape, but probably predominantly contracted out. We don't have the equipment to do all the landscape either.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Arroyo,
Yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Young,
Yes.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Caius.
Caius, yes. Motion passes. Item C. May I have a motion and a second to present and potentially approve a resolution authorizing additional funds from the Mill Creek SSA budget for trades, labor, materials, and related services for sidewalk trip hazard removal with Precision Concrete Company Incorporated for the Mill Creek Special Service Area, TIPS, contract number 230104002. That is TMP 25-978 on page 625. And that would increase that $30,000 for a total of $80,000, I believe, the way I read that. Moved by
Gums will move.
Gum, second by
Juby.
Arroyo. I think I heard that. Speak in
Said
your
something.
microphone. So yes, Mr. Fonstock?
Yes. So this is a contract that they use to essentially cut the trip hazards or grind the trip hazards, which are sidewalk edges in Mill Creek. And the program took off with an initial amount, which was $30,000 worth of cutting. And they're roughly, anywhere from $75 to $150 to cut the trip hazard in the neighborhood. And what we're finding is that with I think there's just over 2,000 properties or homes out there, and there are literally probably a trip hazard or a issue with cutting the sidewalk in front of almost every other house. So this is something that the SSA is responsible for maintaining the sidewalks. It is part of our liability as the county. The county holds general liability for the SSA sidewalks and activities that the SSA is responsible for out there. We've been working with this company for a while, and we're looking to increase our spend with them to address more of the trip hazards before we have any further incidents or claims. We have had a couple people fall and get injured out there, and they did have a couple of issues where it would proceeded to a claim. So we're trying to get in front of this, get the precision cutting done. We have addressed lifting with mud jacking or synthetic material. And what we found is that the cutting is more efficient, more cost effective. And this contract is a contract that municipalities throughout Illinois use. And it's kind of widely popular. So we started this a while back, and it's just simply increasing the amount of spend with them to get to more of the trip hazards and cut more of them. We do actually go through and identify with them also all of the slabs of concrete that cannot be cut that need to be removed, and those are handled by a separate concrete company. This is entirely out of SSA though.
Okay, anybody on the committee comments, questions? And Mr. Roth, did you have a question?
Roger answered my question. I was going to ask, we looked at mud jacking, and he says it's more cost effective to cut. Thank you, Roger.
One of
Yeah.
my favorites is to wait until everybody asks questions. Usually somebody covers it.
Yep.
Okay, no other questions. Roll call, please.
Arroyo,
Yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Young,
Yes.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Caius.
Caius, yes. Okay, that was our business covered for today. Then we'll, as requested, go back to our, after item number 6, item number 7, Executive Director's Report. That's Roger Fonstock. Item A is IT Buildings GIS Fiscal Year 2026 Budget Presentation.
Sure. I'm going to try to share my screen so that we can follow along together. So Blair, bear with me. I'm going to share my screen and replace. So you should be able to see the screen now.
No.
Yeah. Oh, there it comes. There we go.
Everybody see that?
Yep.
Okay, good. So this presentation is very similar to the presentation that we gave at the last meeting. So I'm gonna go through some of these a little faster, and then I'll identify the things that we have changed since the last time and kind of cover a few highlights of the budget. The one thing that we were asked to do when working with finance was to try to work with the other departments to make cuts and trying to come up with a plan for the departments to cut based on the original guidance of the 2024 budget. And so I have some comparisons that you can see how we stack up to the 2024 and 2025 budget. But our mission stays the same. Our committee goals are the same. Our objectives for building management and IT did not change. And those are in the packet for your reading. We did change this slide. Building management, in the cuts, we had a vacancy from a retirement in the print shop, and we chose to take the staffing down from 52 to 51 in building management and not fill that vacancy. The rest of the departments have remained the same. We are working on taking Mill Creek and internalizing it into our administration group, and that will change ultimately where our administration group will be responsible for the contracts, contractors, and ordering things for Mill Creek. And that goes along with Mr. Roth's question about how we account for the services we provide to Mill Creek. There'll be a group of 3 people that their salaries are prorated and paid by Mill Creek instead of having a dedicated employee. They found that in the last 2 years that I've been working with it, that having one, basically a maintenance coordinator was not really a good way of handling it. When you have a person who's out for one reason or another, our admin team would end up covering anyway. So we thought when the Mill Creek coordinator retired, we would move to doing this 3 people prorated and have Mill Creek paying into our admin group. So that will be changing as well. These are some of the different areas of service that the departments provide. We've gone through those before. So these are the highlights of the IT budget. And, you know, due to the finance committee's meeting this week where there were some alternatives presented about the budget, most of this is focused on the 2024 budget as a comparison. And so we will be also updating now that we may have different direction about 2025, but I do have some 2025 comparisons. The good news is that we're trying to match up to 2024 budget in this. So I think a lot of our work in doing cuts has already been done because we managed to do that respectively to the 2024 budget. So when you look at this, our revenue increased slightly. I believe Charles is doing some corrections to revenue. I think we had one of our revenue items he's going to be adjusting. So it'll be down a little bit from the 24% increase. The salaries and wages were 4% less than 2024, contractual 11% less, and commodities 13% less. This is over 2024 budget. The overall, we were 6% less in expenses by 285,905, and with the revenue increase, we'd be at 438,568 less than 2024, or 14% less. That'll change a little bit when we correct the revenue, but it still will probably exceed 10% less than 2025. These are the revenue line items, and you can see how we bring money in from special automation funds that pay for IT services. And like I said, those revenue sources are remaining relatively consistent. Our largest revenue coming in from special funds is the health department and the transportation department. If you look at those, you'll see, I think the health department is near the bottom of the page, health fund 350. That one's the one that Charles is working on. The number, we had a discrepancy about the number of full-time employees that the health department has versus projected. So that's something that we're working on. The other major contributor is the highway fund and transportation. And then, with all of those being special funds, they contribute for a rate per FTE, basically. These are more of the same transfers in from different special funds. We also have some that are being increased based on agreements that we have. But I do expect it to be somewhere in that 15 to 20% increase in revenue. And we are bringing back in roughly $1 million in revenue for offsetting our expenses from these sources. So a lot of the budget line items haven't changed much, and we'd be happy to try and take your questions or answer those when we get through these. But you can look at those. I think the biggest thing is to look at the, where the personnel services, that's where you see the -4 over 2024. You'll see the highlighted red line about middle of the page. And then same thing, I highlighted in red where we had the categorical totals. So we're trying to look at personnel and benefits, contractual and commodities, and see, how our budget stacks up to 24 and 25 as a whole. And you'll see in IT, the contractual is 11% lower, commodities is 13% lower. And these are all things that Charles Lasky worked on for the IT department. I think they've made a good effort to try to reduce our expenses and look at our actuals to see where we can cut things. Overall, the net is 14% less, and that's considering both revenue and expenses. And like I said, when we redo the revenue, I think we're going to lose some of that revenue, but we will probably still be around, let's say 10% less over 2024 even. And 2025, I'll show you some numbers for that in a minute. But that's the IT budget in general. And then building management, we have some highlights. Revenue 0 over 2024. We don't have a lot of revenue in the building management department. There are some leases that we receive rent from, but not a lot of revenue. And so there's no change really. Salaries and wages, we had 0% less than 2024. If we're going to 2025, I believe that will be lower because we are eliminating the one position in the print shop. Contractual services were 8% less than 2024. Commodities are 10% less. Overall, 7% less in expenses, $564,822, and overall 0% increase in revenue. So the net's $564,822 less than 2024. It's probably a little bit more than that or similar from 2025 to 2026, but we'll show you that in one of these next slides. This is one of the items, that's the rental income, I'm sorry. Rental income, that's where we bring that revenue in. It's not a lot, like I said. And then you'll see personnel service, salaries and wages. At the time of this report, I'm not positive that the print shop vacancy was eliminated. It looks like it is. It looks like it's been removed from this. So 2.977 is our submitted budget, but it's still showing 0% over 2024. If you look at the 2025 amended budget, we're roughly 120,000 less. If you look at the red line in contractual services, we're 8% less. This is 24 compared to 2024. And then commodities were 10% lower. And overall, it averages out to 7% less than 2024. And again, I think that with consideration for the 2025 budget versus 2024 will be even bigger contribution to the deficit that we have. We'll be cutting even more. So an overview, the budgets are still under review, just as before. We've been working with finance. They've actually asked us to make some changes in the past 2 weeks. We're looking at different programs and services and where you can make cuts. We're reallocating expenses to special revenue wherever it's applicable. If we have access to special revenue funds that could pay for some of the expenses legitimately, we're trying to move those. And then the capital budget, we're reviewing that right now. And I think that that's still kind of hanging in the balance of whether or not there will be a contribution to the capital fund for projects. Right now, our plan is to assess our year-end capital projects to see what 2025 projects need to have a portion of the remainder of their project budgeted in 2026. We have ARPA and we have a couple of other capital projects that we probably will need to budget some of their expenses in 2026. So it's essentially a rollover. And then the other question is whether or not the county would contribute to the capital plan. I think the plan is to try to bring the capital plan and our budget idea to the next admin committee. And the way I envision that happening is that we'll have two plans. One will be the continuation and completion of our 2025 projects and ARPA projects, not expecting a contribution to the capital fund. And the other would be looking at $2 million in capital coming in for new projects. The 5-year plan, we're going to try to have that updated for you so you can see what it would look like if we didn't put any money into the capital and what it would look like if you put $2 million into capital. There were some other suggestions about 3 million. I think 2 million is a good place to start. But we'll be looking at that and getting that in front of you. I think we're also looking forward to some policy decision about capital. The bottom table is kind of a comparison of over the years, 2024, 2025, 2026. These are the budgets as they rolled out. And if you look at the 2025 over 2026, you'll see that building management and IT are both over 8% below 2025 budgets and average 9% or 1.2 million under 2025 right now. And if you're looking at 2024, we're -7. So we're 7% under 2024. So I think our team did a lot of good work to try to determine, where we could save money or lower our expenses. We haven't done a lot of damage to any of our programs or services or people. And I think that's good. We've tried to look at our actuals and look at what we think would be realistic expenses and cut where we can. And we don't have a lot of room, a lot of things left that we think we could just cut or do without. And we're also still, though, waiting for finance and the county board's direction on it. These were some of our latest budget cuts. This was done immediately after the finance report came out about the 2024 budget cuts and where the department stood. Kathy and the finance office discussed with us additional $153,000 in cuts. So we eliminated the copy center analyst position that was vacant from a retirement. We plan to absorb that with existing staff and also some contracted printing where necessary. And then we have reduced our building repairs by $33,000. We're hoping that through some efficiencies and the solar and other electrical things that we're putting in place, we'll save $36,000 in electric. And then we also were looking at our actuals for cleaning supplies, and we thought we could reduce that by $34,000 in cleaning supplies. So the additional cuts were $153,687. We do think that maybe some of the things that we do in the copy center might require some advance notice and a little bit of extra time to print things. So we might be sending out some notices once the budgets take effect that if you're trying to get something printed and it's relatively large, we'd like to get as much advance notice as possible. And we might even have like a minimum of 48 hours or 72-hour notice, depending on the size of the job. And I think that's reasonable. Even if we contract out some of the printings, a lot of the print shops, they'll do emergency printing at it's pretty steep cost, but they even want us to give them lead time for printing jobs. So we're trying to figure out communication for that, and if we have to get to that point where we tell everybody, if you're going to print something, give us a little bit more notice. This is the GIS budget highlights. Kurt Lebo was out today. I didn't think he was available to join us, but Kurt took over the GIS department this past year, and he's done a great job working with Charles to increase the fee for the recorded fees going to GIS. And we have revenues up 27% over 2024, and that's entirely the fee increase and some additional property moving through the recorder's office. We have salaries and wages. They're up 20% more than 2024. And a lot of that is attributed to shifting expenses for the work that the IT department does over to GIS for the things that are legitimately expenses that we actually incur for GIS. And we also incur some of that is taking on the salaries for people in other departments. We picked up, I think it's 75% or so of a position in the development department that does mapping services. So that's what the increase in wages was. It didn't go to individuals getting raises. It was just prorating salaries for people that do work for GIS. The contractual services, 31% less than 2024. I'll talk about that in a minute. There's a transition from contractual services for licensing to capital software licensing. And you'll see that in the bottom where capital increases by an astronomical 552%. They also increased commodities by 83% for hardware and software non-capital primarily. A lot of these are things Kurt and his team with Charles are picking up and realizing that the budget had always been kind of the way the budget had been, and he's just trying to assign the expenses to the right categories and make sure that we're tracking them in, especially software and the capital line items. So overall, he has 27% more in expenses. It is $489,000 in initial expenses, but we also have the revenue to cover it. Overall, the revenue and expenses are balanced for that fund. And this is basically the budget reports that we have for you. And you'll see the fees went up quite a bit, increased. And that was done through a fee study where we looked at the surrounding collar counties and set our fees based on the amount of work that we put in and comparable to surrounding counties. So I believe we're in the upper half of the fee structure. We're not the highest, but we're no longer in the bottom half of the fee structure. The salaries and wages, again, you'll see the increase of 24% over the amended budget for personnel services, 20% overall increase in personnel and wages. And then you'll see the contractual services changes where there's the reductions in contractual services where they're moving things. If you look at the top line, the contractual and consulting services 50-150, you'll see there's the submitted budget for contractual, which is all of the services for GIS. And then as you go down through the services, I'm trying to see, 52-130, repair and maintenance of computers, you'll see where that basically is reduced and eliminated. And that comes back later in computer software, computer hardware, non-capital. So 60-060 and 60-070. We pick up computer hardware and software non-capital. Commodities, they went up in order to accommodate that. And then the rest of it is the shift to software license costs. At the bottom in capital, you'll see a line item up here in 2026 for $452,000. And that is all the ESRI software database and tools that they use to produce all the cadastral and property maps and layers for all of the county offices, departments, and services. And then these are transfers into the general fund. You can see when you're talking about how much offices and special revenue departments contribute to IT, similar to like Mill Creek or transportation. This transfer to general fund 001 is actually GIS's special revenue fund payment to the IT department for all of the IT support and services that they get from our staff. Oops, I think I went too far. So that's the budgets for IT, building management, and GIS. And I leave it on this slide because I think this is kind of the overall view of where we're at right now. And again, we're still looking at direction from the board and working with finance and the departments to make any additional cuts that need to be made. We are still trying to focus on our operating expenses and trying to, protect employees that are here working. I think that's important. Until we get further direction from the board, that's been kind of our mode of operations, is trying to focus on commodities, contractual, and things that we can cut. But obviously, we're looking for direction from the county board. And that's all we have for the budget for today.
Juby?
Okay, thank you, Roger. I have to say I'm disappointed, but sadly not surprised to see that there was still in your budget the removal of the Regional Office of Education's lease. It can only be done through resolution, as it was resolution 20-111 that put that lease into building management. I do not see a resolution to amend that presented. And as far as I know, the only people that can authorize that transfer are the members of the Board of Education at a full meeting through resolution. So I am disappointed that an employee who does not have the right to do this has continued to do this. And I will talk about this each and every time it shows up because it is wrong and it is not following our procedure. And I thought I made it more than clear last time that it had to be done by resolution, and yet here it is. And Madam Chair, I know you're here and I know we've had this conversation about this, but this can't be like this. There's either going to be a resolution that states we will be changing the terms of that initial 20-111, or there will be the regional superintendent coming in saying he wishes to have that put into his budget. But barring those two things, this is going to come up every single time until we resolve this. And I'm incredibly disappointed that this is even an issue.
And was that, you said that it had to be passed by the
It has,
Board of Education?
it happened through resolution by the full board.
Our board.
Our board passed a resolution 20-111 that set up the terms of the agreement when the Regional Office of Education moved from the 6th Street School into their new facility. Suddenly, that money that was supposed to be put there has now been taken out of building management and put into the regional office with no action by the members of this board. And that is incorrect. It's not following procedure and it is unfair.
Chairman, just from education, can I question Ms. Juby? From education, can I question Ms. Juby?
Roya?
Yes, may I question a question from Ms. Juby?
Sure.
Yes, me sure.
So the 6th Street School, is that owned by the county or the regional board?
6th Street School was ownned by the county.
And the new building they're in, is it their own building,
The
separate from us?
new building that they're in is owned by Batavia Enterprises.
So they're leasing it from them?
The,
Okay.
it was a design build for the Regional Office of Education because it is my understanding that there was no properties available for them. So they were told to go find something. So they did. They did a design build. They signed a contract. Now, we have kind of dropped the ball a little bit because the contract was anything over 130,000 was supposed to be charged back to the regional office, which it has not. That's on us. However, there's still, I think there's 2 or 3 more years on this contract that says the Regional Office of Education's $130,000 will be covered by building management. And suddenly it has been removed.
And who's responsible for, I guess, are there a separate line item on tax
You
bill?
get close.
I'm sorry,
Please.
is the regional board a separate tax item on your tax bill, or they fall under our purview?
No, they receive funding from us and they receive
So
funding
they're-
from the
they're-
state
they're
of
part our
Illinois.
budget. They're not their own budget, like a school district would be.
No, they're not like the
Okay,
school district.
yeah.
Correct.
It's coming back to me now, but, huh?
They make reports to us.
Well, they report to us, they do get some money from us,
Yeah.
but they also get federal money and they get state money. A lot of their salaries are paid either through federal grants or state monies and things like that. This is just a nuts and bolts. We are violating our own policies and procedures. And it's unacceptable and it needs to be remedied immediately.
Okay. Well, I think you've made your point. I'm not sure we can argue it out or
No,
discuss it out
Mr.
to the
Chair
end
Gums?
here. Ms. Gums?
I just want to respond a little bit, apologize, but I hear you, Mr. Caius, in that you think she made her point, but I will piggyback on that. If she'd have made her point, we wouldn't be having this conversation today. It was very clear the last time, and that didn't get done. This is procedure situation, and there's no resolution.
There is a resolution, but it hasn't happened yet.
Well,
That's what you're saying.
correct. So then
Yep.
this can't happen.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, this is Roger.
Roger?
So the building lease that you had in 2025 was originally carried forward in the 2026 budget request. At the time when finance was reviewing our budget, this particular line item is its own sub-fund under building management, and finance, Kathy Hopkinson had asked to move it to ROE for them to have it as in their cost center. I think I had discussed this with ROE and with Phil Morris, and I had explained to him that we're trying to work with finance and gave him all the information about the lease and where we were at with it. And I told him that, we would be working with finance, trying to figure out, how this is going to eventually work for the department. We are more than happy to put it back. It doesn't change our direction, but I do think that we would need to budget for that expense either in this building lease line item or in ROE. This is an expense that wouldn't take effect until December 1st, but if you budget for it in either line item, there's a resolution to pay it out of this line item. You would need a resolution to pay it out of the ROE line item effective December 1st. Once you get into the new fiscal year, we would not have the money in our budget to pay the lease anymore. So if that's the direction, we can work with finance to put it back into building management. I can tell you that was not the direction we received from finance. It was something that they were trying to do, I believe, to help identify the correct cost center for the lease with ROE.
Mr. Chair Gums,
Gums?
respectfully, Roger, I understand what you're saying, but the direction from finance is not supersede the direction from the county board. And we had a lengthy conversation about this. The fact that finance and a group had a conversation with the ROE folks, telling them or suggesting that they wanted to do it a certain way,
Yes.
doesn't mean that they accepted that statement. And as I understand it, and please somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but they did no such thing to agree to that. And I think we're getting, I guess to the point is, again, and nothing personal here, but if the county board has directed, which I believe it was very clear, that we have a resolution that has to be presented, that didn't happen, and instead we were dismissed. That's how I feel, frankly.
Where would that have started?
We had a major conversation about this in finance.
Where would the resolution start then? In finance
No, with you.
to do that? Madam
Well,
Chair?
it would depend
Well,
on
just Well, that's sort of a rhetorical question. I don't
mean,
know
we
that
can
you have
put
the
it
answer
back.
for that.
Mr. Chairman, we can put this back in our budget. It takes no effort. It's, one line entry. Charles could probably do it before the end of the day. Put it back. And then the other part of it, I have no access to take it from ROE. That was done in finance. So,
Right. I
adding it
think that's
back into our
pretty
budget
obvious.
is easy, and I can have Charles do that today.
Okay,
Thank you.
Madam Chair has something to contribute?
Thank you very much. So yes, Ms. Juby, indeed, I am here, prepared to listen to the budget. So what I'd like to have is a copy of the lease for ROE, we can actually see the details of that and send that to Mr. Caius and to myself, so we can review it, and to Kathleen Hopkinson. And then if so wish, which is what seems to be the direction, absolute direction of the board, which is fine. I mean, I think it's an excellent suggestion to put together a resolution for September's meeting so that we're not taking money away from them. I think the consideration was for them, if the direction of the board was to reduce ROE's budget, which would include this line item, because it would be an increase to their budget. That is not the case at all. We don't want to shortchange ROE in any manner. Taking $750,000 as part of their total amount and having to reduce it to 2024 or the budget for 2025. So keep that a separate line item, simply shift it, leaving that $750,000 out of their budget allocation because it is a mandated fixed cost, but put it together properly, as Ms. Juby has suggested, through a resolution which is approved by ROE, which would have to go through public service and then through building management and then up to finance and then to the full board. So if that meets with Ms. Juby and Ms. Gums's approval, I think that's a very good way to present this, to get this straightened out so we don't have to argue about this anymore. But we need to see a copy of the lease first to see its terms.
I just sent it to you.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So does that sound like it's going to
And
be?
did
the way
you
to
send
resolve
it? Did you send, who else did you send it to?
I
Did you
sent it to Chris
as well?
Caius,
Thank
and
you.
I sent it to you via text because I figured you could pull that up before you could pull up your email. I sent it to you via your email
County
address
Bo- Just now or?
just now.
And I have
because
it.
I have a
Public-
copy of it.
All right. Well, it's going to start, you said in
So,
public service?
well, public service is, the agenda's already been approved. So it probably, since it came through here first and it's on the original building management's budget line, should start with you and then go to ROE, which would be the following week, and then can go to finance and then exec. So for September, so we can start it
We'll
through
see it here
September.
in September.
And Roger, you'll be able to put that together for us, right? The resolution?
Sorry,
If
when
that's
is it
the
starting
direction-
first? Because I would like to make sure that the Regional Office of Education is in on every step of this.
Without, and I mentioned that, without question. Absolutely.
Okay,
They'll-
well, I heard 3 dates though of.
Oh, no,
when
it
was
starts, it
moving
has
through.
to go through finance. and
Oh,
then it has-
finance, the next
No,
finance
no,
meeting would.
excuse me, I misspoke, ma'am.
Public,
So, it starts here. And then it goes to Regional Office of Education, which meets the following week after building management. The following week is Regional Office of Education. And then it can go
So the next admin meeting, they should be prepared.
absolutely.
All right, thank you.
absolutely.
is
And
it
in the meanwhile,
necessary
Bill, well, if I can have a conversation with ROE to make sure that they're all on board with it. We have, signatory approval, and then we can start passing through the resolution. But once we need to get the resolution and with the lease attached to it, so everybody is in complete understanding of this transfer of money. Eliminating it from their budget for reduction. We don't want to increase their budget by $750,000
pretty
because it
clear?
is a
Yeah, okay,
fixed
we've
cost.
got it. That part of it, we've got it. This, so is it necessary then to change these figures in the interim here that Roger has presented?
Charles already
Well, they're
changed.
not
them, so-
correct, but they're not correct. He can present whatever he wants, but it's not a
Well,
correct number.
I want to make sure that you feel comfortable with it. That's the case.
Well,
So,
well,
so if we.
I would feel
Chairman?
very comfortable if something that wasn't supposed to be put in there was removed. Yes, I would feel
Okay.
very comfortable with
Thank
that.
you. That's a very short answer. Great.
Mr. Chairman, this is Roger. Charles actually is adding the line item right now.
So
So it'll be in there.
anything you
guys
see
can make a
from,
decision and tell us how you want to do it, but you'd have to ultimately make the budget adjustment to change it in ROE and change it in building.
that would be the
management.
process then, and then we'll then be able
Mr.
to.
Chair,
adjust
Gumbs, I
it
have a,
appropriate.
I have a question on procedure.
Yes. Ms. Gums?
I have a question on, I think, oh, maybe we don't have anybody online. I think the person or the unit asking for the change would be the one to start this. Is that, you know what, I'll have to ask later, never mind.
We'll address this later. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask this question later,
Then this meeting?
correct?
Okay, all right. Any other comments or questions? Are you, to the best of everybody's knowledge, we're headed in the right direction? I don't want to leave anybody hanging. And make a note that now you're part of the vote, I guess.
Do we need to
Mr.
officially
Young?
say that?
Mr. Roth is now a voting member to,
The quorum,
Make your
in order to
quorum.
meet quorum. Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
to quorum. All right, so that's the discussion on the budget. Is there any other questions about that?
Not about that. I did have a question.
Oh, okay, Mr. Roth?
Going back to the print shop, Roger was talking about, they may have to put some standards in. Will those standards be similar to what you would if you go to a professional printer, like 48 hours and stuff like that?
You
And-
know what, we are planning to, put together kind of a policy statement or a program for that. Right now, I mean, we have some people that are covering all the printing in the
Right.
vacancy. And so if we don't fill that position, our plan is to
Right.
use the people that we have to accommodate. And that's one of the reasons why we made the choice we did, was because we felt we could absorb the
Okay.
work.
Right, but I mean, you're going to come up with a policy that would mirror professional printers, I would assume, maybe better.
It's hard to.
I'm not
provide-
saying you have to.
Well, I don't think that we can.
No,
Let's
that's
say-
his,
okay,
his
that's fine,
choice.
thank you.
I'm
He
just
said
saying that
he would be
discussion.
doing that.
Right,
Okay.
Right.
Let's move this along then. Any other questions or comments? Then is there no vehicles? No
sir.
IT from Charles? And no GIS, I think I mentioned earlier, no vehicles. Any new business? Any old business? Is there any comments from any of the last comments from any of the board committee members? May I have a motion to second or a request to place reports on file?
Unanimous consent?
Arroyo would
That'd be unanimous
request for unanimous consent.
Yeah,
You
request
should
unanimous
Right up
consent.
next to
Reports
the
on file.
microphone and do that.
So the people online can hear you.
Oh.
They can't hear
Oh, I
you.
request unanimous consent for reports on file.
There, thank you.
Alex.
Mr. Arroyo requests the replace
We know what you
the
mean.
reports on file by unanimous consent. Thank you, Mr. Arroyo.
No
Thank
objection.
you, Mr.
Is there
Alex.
any comments or objections to that? Okay, reports are on file. No need for executive session. Please tell me that's true. And then I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by
Royal moves.
Arroyo, second by
Gums.
Gums. Thank you.
Aye.
All in favor?